I can do it. Do you hear that? That, my friends, is the sound of another joint discussion. Welcome back. I'm Lauren Wild. I'm one of the co-hosts here at Joint Discussions, sitting with my lovely co-host and partner, James Mummert. Welcome back, everyone.
Yo, what's up?
What did you just say?
Yo, what's happening? I don't even know. What's happening is what I'm looking to say. Sorry, it's this candy high that I've got.
Yeah. Do you want to retake that, or you want to just go right from there?
We can go right from here if we want. It's kind of expected from us in our opening sometimes. But yeah, we have so much candy that has actually kind of got quieted in the house. Nobody's really kind of brought it up too much.
Yeah.
But it's time to get rid of it.
Yeah, I can't anymore with any more sugar laying around the house. I'm like, it's got to get out of here. I'm obviously an addict. Like, you got to get the substance out of the house, or I'm just going to keep hitting it.
You got to hit it sometimes when they're full-size bars, though.
I feel bad taking the full-size ones.
I don't.
I know you don't.
I don't. Halloween's over. It's been, at this point of taping, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
We have new horizons that we're focusing on, holiday-wise and season-wise. So I have 2 big bags, and I just don't know what to do with them. I think I should just donate them to a dentist. Don't they buy those back? Maybe I can get some gift card credit for some dental work.
I don't know if it works like that. I think that what they've typically done is they'll pay you 50 cents per pound of how much you turn in. So
shit, that's at least 2 tacos at Taco Bell.
It's funny, but yeah, isn't it so weird, because we've already gone from Halloween and now we're less than a week away from, Thanksgiving, Colonizer Day, whatever you guys tend to call it. But yeah, we're less than a week away.
It's truly insane that we're to this point of the year already. This is episode 14. We did forget to say what episode number this was, but this is episode 14, and coming right before the week of Thanksgiving kind of brought up some things for us as we are experiencing as a family our first Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it is. And Thanksgiving was a really big deal for you, right?
Thanksgiving was, growing up, as a kid, my favorite holiday, because I remember going to an aunt or uncle's. One of my parents had 7 siblings, and so it was always such a big occasion. I would remember going over, and all the food would be down in the basement, and all the adults would hang upstairs, but the food would be downstairs as well as where the kids hung out. And it was just a great day because I get to play Nintendo with my cousins.
Yeah.
And watch some football, stuff my face, drink all the pop that I could because, the parents aren't watching.
Yeah.
And that really hasn't changed much as I've gotten older. I really did enjoy a time of getting together and celebrating over a large meal, or being thankful for something over a large meal. As I got into the military, really that's where I started experiencing what a lot of people call Friendsgiving. Mm-hmm. And it was nice because there were airmen that would not be able to go home for holidays because of work schedules and leave and all of those other things. And so that was something that I had a bunch of friends over, and everyone brought some dishes. I made the turkey, and we had a Friendsgiving, and it was really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I remember growing up in Florida, and I can't even remember the really early Thanksgivings. I just remember for a good 8 years, we always ate at our next door neighbor's house, the Brits. And
the Brits.
And
Shout out Brits.
yep.
If you're still alive.
Yeah, R.I.P. Tommy. They would have so many people over, and everybody was allowed to invite people. And it was huge. I mean, it was huge. Sometimes there was 50 people, 100 people. It was nuts. And so you weren't just with family, you were with your neighbors and your friends, and sometimes you'd bring family. I remember that, and they were really doing Friendsgiving. I just didn't know that. Like, I didn't know we were doing Friendsgiving at such a young age.
Now, did that party have alcohol?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so 50 to 100 people sounds like at least probably like 35 to 60 drinking age people
Yeah.
at a party
Yes.
where there's lots of food, lots of booze.
Yes.
So I bet there's some pretty good stories. Do you have any, like, do you have like one story that you can draw from that you remember from something like that where you're just like, yeah, that's
No,
crazy?
I don't, because I was young and I was way too occupied with hanging out with like my friends, the neighbors, the cool kids. Like, it was just a very non-traditional in the way that you didn't even sit with your parents. You sat with other people. You're just like kind of bye, hi, and everybody would play a different game because it was Florida. So cold was like 45 degrees. So we'd be like playing soccer in the front, and we lived in a cul-de-sac. So everybody would just be out there, and the adults would be drinking, and they had smokers. Tommy Britt was a huge, he had charcoal, and he was big on smoking meat and stuff. So all the guys would be sitting out, and it's like a flashback. I haven't even thought about this in so long. And they all drank Natty Light, and they would all have their chairs, and they'd just all watch the grill together and just kind of shoot the shit. And it's just so funny to like think back at that, because that was like, let's see, that would have been the early to mid 90s.
Wow. Okay, yeah, so that's right around the age that I would have been referring to for like Thanksgiving and Christmas time. And just as an aside for the meat lover smokers of the podcast, because they're out there, I'm sure, or they've eaten byproducts of someone who has smoked meat. It is an art.
Yeah.
And for Tommy Britt to use charcoal, he's an OG. To smoke a food with charcoal takes immense accuracy.
Yeah.
Because that needs to be, charcoal's so easy. And so I am jealous that I never got a chance to come to a Tommy Britt hosted Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And yeah, the drinking Natty Lights and watching the meat smoke. That's it reminds me of kind of like King of the Hill a little bit.
Yeah.
King of the Hill vibes, but
Yes.
it's a ritual. It's a thing.
It's just very American in the 90s, and it's funny because we'll get into this. We've started watching some Christmas movies, and me and the kids, and you're coming around, which I know we're going to talk about all of that. But
Oh, for sure.
we watched a little bit of Home Alone, and just like the way that the 90s Christmas and Thanksgiving, when everybody sat together and all the families would gather, and it's like, I just don't feel like it's really like that anymore.
No, I don't think it is like that anymore. And that's the byproduct of the screen epidemic.
Yeah.
And it's not just the kids. You don't just shove the kids in front of.
Yeah.
Because was the thing back in the 90s.
Yeah.
You let them go and play their video games
Or
because
watch a
as the
VHS.
adults, or watch a VHS or listen to their cassettes, because that is how you got the kids to like
Chill.
let you have adult time.
Or to be able to cook and focus.
Right. But now everyone's on a screen. You're looking on a screen for your recipe. You're watching a screen while you're cooking. You're listening to things. It draws our attention away
Yeah.
from the communal aspect of experiencing the room.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something that we're going to like.
Oh,
Maybe we kind of take that back this year and see what that looks like and enforce something like that where we have, but you're like already like, I can see it like, fuck no, Jamie, we're not doing that because them kids we have all the kids.
No, I'm like, let's do it. Let's just do it forever. Like, we might as well just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off.
Forever.
No, we've been having this conversation, and not to get too far off track, but I was talking to one of my students / friends about this last week that also has kids about our younger two's age. just this epidemic that every millennial parent is experiencing right now, which is the battle of tech and screens and how hard it is for kids to regulate themselves when they don't have the constant distraction of a screen. And we were talking about like, we got to go old school 90s. We got to get a house phone and we got to give them dumb phones. No more smartphones, like those little Nokias where the biggest game was Snake, you know?
Snake was a fun game.
It was a fun game, but that's another conversation for another day. I would love to circle back around to the conversation of kind of reclaiming holiday joy after a period of time where maybe it wasn't the most joyful, as we talk about. So one of the things that's been happening recently is every time Jamie gets in my car, there's Christmas music playing.
And we're talking like Mariah Carey Christmas. We're talking Bing Crosby. Just like, I'm just not there. I'm not there for me. So this would be a great time
tell us.
Yeah, we wanted to talk this first part of the podcast about what it looks like to kind of reclaim holidays that, again, felt maybe oppressive or felt like it was an obligation to act a certain way, to speak a certain way. So when it comes to holidays, I had some very strong feelings that from childhood that carried over to adulthood and kind of really got at its worst probably like 7 to 2 years ago. So that time, 5 years.
7 to 2?
Right. That takes the present 2 years I've been working on it out of the account and then says basically the prior 5 years.
Okay.
Was when it was at its worst. I was
Grinch.
Scrooge McGrinch. It had a lot to do with things from childhood. It had a lot to do with how adulthood holidays went. Once you have kids and once you get in and out of things where you stop, you're maybe not talking to family as much, or you've changed how my Thanksgivings and Christmases growing up, everybody was Christian.
Yeah.
Baptists and Pentecostals. That was the denominations of that family. And so there was so much religion sprinkled into that, so much Christianity. I think there was at least 3 or 4 preachers of like the uncles and brothers and cousins. And you're talking long-winded prayers and all these things. So I do have I had some fairly strong feelings, particularly towards Thanksgiving and Christmas. I was very pro Thanksgiving, the thought of it, the meal, the celebration, not so much the holiday name or its origin story. And Christmas, I was always just nothing. I wanted to celebrate. I wanted to celebrate on the 24th and 25th, and that was that. But that obviously didn't fly in my first marriage. My ex-partner was obsessed with Christmas, but it felt like a complete wedge and something that we just clashed on from the get-go, and it drove me even worse because I was so sick of the way it was celebrated. So we got some reclaiming to do, and this is our first Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited. Got the turkey.
Yep, you did.
I speaking of Tommy Britt. There we go.
Like who?
Yeah, I just met Tommy, and so I forgot the name. But in honor of Tommy, I do smoke the turkey. So a lot of folks go the oven route. Some people deep fry it in the South. Like there's a lot of different ways to do your turkey. I'm not saying there's one right or wrong way, but I do particularly like the effects of a smoked turkey. You get that nice charred crust where the turkey's brown, but then you get these like nice, really deep brownish black spots of just char. And then on the inside, once you start carving it, you get this beautiful pink smoke ring on just the top layer, like the top layer of your skin, think of it. and it's a nice little pink, and it looks like, oh, is it undercooked or something? No, it's just this layer of pink, and then the taste of the meat, you can smell the smoke, and if you do it right with like the good brine, the right apple or cherry chips or whatever, it just I'm hungry already thinking about it.
I'm just like, how high are you already, baby?
Well, this moon pie kind of has me near the moon, I do believe, but also Thanksgiving is coming, and I could not be more excited to smoke a turkey.
I can see. We all hear that. Thank
I
you.
hope that you are listening to this and are just like,
now everyone's hungry.
yeah, because this will be coming out the week of Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So people might be prepping their food, listening to this and being like, oh, we should have done a smoked turkey this year. If you need it, hit me up we're at Joint Discussions Pod, and I'll shoot you the recipe for the smoked turkey.
Well, I'm sure you're going to share it on social media, right? You got to prove it to everybody.
Well, of course.
You're talking about it. Now you better prove it.
Of course. I'm going to send it to the Patreon first and show that community exactly what that looks like. Maybe I'll even do a video day of.
Yeah, you should definitely do that.
Because it's a time-lapse video of a smoke of a meat is really something. So
thank you. Okay.
now let's get back to the
we
topic
just
at
spent
hand.
5 minutes talking about a smoked turkey.
And everyone out there is saying thank you. Thank you, Jamie, for that.
Oh, man. Yeah, I think that what's really interesting is that Christmas should be ruined for me. Some of my like bigger emotional issues have always happened around Christmas or Thanksgiving. I don't even know if you know this, but my kid's dad, like my ex, he proposed to me on Christmas Day.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so it's really weird because I think I've spent the last 14 years trying to reclaim it as something else. But yeah, I have never really been a huge Christmas person until I moved to Ohio. And we had snow.
Because we have snow.
Yes,
and
because in
not
Florida, I'd
sun
be
and
wearing
rain at
like
best.
cut off jean shorts. Like, we'd be so happy if we got an icicle or something like that.
I would love to wear cutoff jean shorts for Christmas this year. Will you let me?
Yeah, you can.
Hell yeah. Get my pitties on too.
Yeah, you should. Just let your inner Floridian shine, babe. Yeah, I think that there is also some grief and some gratitude there, especially with, it wasn't so much about walking away from Christianity in Christmas because I didn't grow up Christian, so I didn't really associate Christmas with Jesus so much as like the fun and the lights and all of that. But I do remember like when I did get into the cult of evangelical Christianity, that it was always called like Jesus's birthday. And everybody would like make him cake and sing happy birthday and all of that. You see, I evangelized my parents.
By the way, we did that. We made cake for Jesus
You
on
did?
his birthday. Of course we did.
Oh, man. See.
Hey, as a kid, you're just like, hell yeah, I'm getting cake on Christmas for some dead dude's birthday. Let's fucking go. And at that time in the 90s, it'd be like, well, what kind of cake do you want? So we got to pick the cake. I got a swirl, vanilla and chocolate like on the inside with chocolate frosting on the outside and sprinkles. And it's like,
baby,
yeah, happy
you are
birthday, Jesus.
So into food right now. It is really funny. That drink.
It's the drink and it's nostalgia. Nostalgia
Totally.
tastes better. That's just a thing. That's a rule that I have for anything that you try that you remember from a kid.
Yeah.
Nostalgia always tastes better.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know today we went Thanksgiving shopping and I got oat nog. And I was just like, ugh, it doesn't even have eggs in it because I'm allergic to dairy and eggs and wheat and all the things. But I was like, this is so lame. And we don't even put alcohol in it anymore. I'm like, why am I buying this?
We just passed 150 days sober.
Yesterday. I forgot about that. Yay for us.
Which is interesting because as we host our first Thanksgiving this year, we're having your folks over who do drink.
Yep.
And we even had that conversation and said, hey, you guys can bring it. Just take what you're going to bring home because we won't do any leftovers. We're not going to.
Yeah, we don't keep any of that here.
But just like Kendrick Lamar said, bitch, don't kill my vibe. So
Yeah.
if that helps their vibe out, I mean, we're going to be vibing on some THC shit. So
we're going to have to because grandma's going to be here.
oh my God. Okay, this is a perfect podcast to be able to vent for a second about grandma. Is that okay?
Yeah, we're about to talk about all of this. So.
Well, great. I'll just save it for then. But come on, grandma, be better than that.
Man, so that's the only thing I was going to say is like, yeah, nobody was really Christian. I evangelized my own parents in my early 20s, but my grandma, my dad's mom, has always been a hardcore Christian. Like telling the gospel to everybody, making sure you're going to heaven, right? Like forever. She's always been that. And, you know, when I was young, I was just like, oh my God, grandma. But now I'm just like, grandma, you need to chill. Like, stop.
And
I'm
grandma's
setting a boundary.
95.
Yes, grandma is nearly deaf and blind completely. And she's still out, you know, selling Jesus, slanging the gospel on the streets.
Can confirm. Can fucking confirm there. We had them over for a dinner recently.
Yeah.
And everyone else, because some of your out-of-town family came in and wanted to see the house for the first time. And so all the kids are gone at this point, too. They're back down in the basement.
Yep.
So who's left in the dining room when everyone else goes on this house tour but me and old grandma? Now, I am trying to score brownie points with grandma
I know.
as I am still working myself into the family and acquainting myself with them. And grandma lives next to the church that I used to pastor at.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had a common theme there. Now, I had no idea that she was so religious she was going to be like condemning me to hell just a few minutes later.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what happened. The church would go over and serve meals over there to the retirement community. They don't do that anymore. So at this point, we talked about how I do have kids that go there on Wednesdays now.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, good. I was hoping that you would be the one that would bring Lauren back to faith. To me. So she took the knowledge of knowing that two of our kids go to church and basically implied that I was the Christian father that would like take them to church, which would bring you back to faith. But that's where I told grandma, I'm not the right person for that. I don't believe in God no more. She said, you don't?
God, if I would have been there, I would have been like, don't go so direct. Just ignore. Deflect.
Well, yeah, it was hard to deflect her fucking damning to hell because she said, you know, you're not going to go to heaven, right? And I said, well, grandma, at this point in my life, I'm okay with that. And she said, that's where people burn.
Oh, she did? I didn't know she said that.
Yeah.
Jesus, grandma.
I said, well, she said, I pray, I'm going to add you to my prayer book. And I said, you know what, grandma, I would appreciate that. I would appreciate that you pray for me. Pray for me to get a lot of money and this house. And
oh, man.
That was that. But yeah, grandma will be in attendance and grandma will not be preaching the gospel this time. She got her free shot. Yeah.
No, and that's a great segue into some of the other parts of our discussion points tonight, and that is navigating the holidays when you are with family who still hold your old belief systems and still see you as the previous version of yourself before you went through your spiritual journey or your awakening or your deconstruction, and you're like new, and people still want to see you in that old light and project who they used to see you as on you. How do you deal with that?
Unfortunately, none of those people will be spending the holiday with me.
Yeah.
So there's like that full stop right there. It's almost like a two-part question. The first part is, if there's people that come over, aka grandma, and somebody insists on praying, even though it is our house.
Yeah.
Whatever, go ahead, pray.
No, I think that you should control that. Or I can do it.
What if Marshall?
I can do it.
What if one of our kids wants to pray? What are you going to say?
I think we should get out ahead of that.
Okay. Well, fine. Then no prayer. But I could, if I were to go over to some other function and at your parents' house where there is prayer, because that has happened.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a person that'd be like, yeah, I can coexist with that. That's not a problem. But the second part of your question was, how do you deal with people that are still seeing you as who you used to be?
Yeah.
And that answer again is they don't. And honestly, it makes me, these are all kind of like the first holidays for that too.
Yeah.
I'm no contact with my parents.
Yep.
I really haven't spoken to my siblings in a long time.
Yeah.
And so part of me feels a little homeless when it comes to family.
No, babe.
But I
You're
do
home
know
here.
that part of what we're celebrating next week is chosen family.
Yeah.
And I know that I've been chosen by, at this point, I do feel like I've been fully chosen by three boys and a woman who's going to be my wife one day.
No.
And her parents.
Yeah.
We're working on some of the other ones, but that's
It's
a really
just time.
it's a really solid base. And I know I would have grandma in my corner if I just told her I was a believer, but I'm not going to lie to her. So I'll just take your parents and my kids and you for now.
And we also have aunts and uncles up in Chicago. We're growing our base. You've got some cousins in them, and we've got friends. We've got
Right. And
friends
that's the
that
other part of
operate
it
like
is that
siblings.
we do have a lot of friends that have really taken on some roles in my life that other people used to fill.
Yeah.
I've had some relationships that have heard the feedback
Yeah.
and have taken actionable steps. And so this season of life, it does bring a lot for me to be thankful for.
Yeah.
And I'm just really excited to see what a first holiday looks like. This will be my first holidays where I'm swapping kids in a way. Like this
Yeah.
is the first official one.
Yep.
So knowing that we're not going to have them for like half of a day or something, even though it's our week, it's all kind of just weird to me.
Yeah. It's your first time.
But again, that's where I have an experienced partner who has been through that and kind of helped. Thankfully, we're all kind of on the same schedule. And so
Yeah.
it works out as it should.
Yeah. I remember just kind of raw dogging all of this stuff previously.
God, can I just stop you right there real quick about raw dogging? Because that's one of my favorite phrases to use. But sometimes I find myself accidentally using it around the kids, like where they're going to like have a hamburger playing and I'm just like, oh, just raw dogging it on. And I'm like, oh, wait a second. Maybe I shouldn't use that phrase with kids. Okay, back to you.
I say it all the time because I'm an astrologer and I teach consciousness, that I always say that there's people out there just raw dogging reality.
I wish we would use raw dogging more in lexicon where it was accepted, but it is a really good use. There's a lot of good uses for that.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
say more about the raw dogging through reality, though, just like quickly, because you've piqued my curiosity.
Oh, it's like you are just like moving through life without anything having a bigger sense of purpose or any sense of direction or why things might be happening the way they are or what you're supposed to cultivate or what kind of direction you're supposed to move in. And the idea of having no sense of that with everything that is going down in our reality right now, politically, socially, et cetera, that's why we just say, like, you're just out there raw dogging reality.
That sounds a lot like the people who represent the nation in Idiocracy, where they have no purpose.
Yeah. They have no sense of anything. Just walking around, just taking reality on without any background or sense of purpose around it. But anyways, okay. So yes, let's talk for a moment about the co-parenting blended family situation. I know a lot of our listeners are either divorced or working on divorce, or they're in the middle of some sort of co-parenting situation. And this is just, a word out there. It's been really interesting because my bio kids and me, we went through divorce in 2019. Everything started to change in 2019. By 2020, we weren't having any more holidays or anything together anymore. Yeah, like Christmas in 2019 was our last holiday together. So we've been going through this for a really long time comparatively to your bio kids. And I remember like watching you guys go through it. I just remember where I was and how exhausting and difficult it is, and just sometimes almost having like a tiny bit of jealousy that you do have a partner that like has already gone through so much of it to help, because I didn't know shit when I was going through it, and I had to like learn so many hard ways, especially with things like swaps and Christmas and all of that stuff. Like it can be complicated, just really emotionally complex when you don't have like a structure to work with.
Well, I did not have structure last year, as you
I
recall.
remember. Yes, I do.
So I'm looking forward to that structure this year. That's first and foremost.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the structure that the county sets upon holidays and things like that, because it's black and white. It's clear. There's no area where you're like, oh, can I do this? Can I do that? Nope. This is what the court says.
Yep.
That's the part I'm really looking forward to. Last year was tricky because since I moved out and had those kind of things weighing on me, like I had hardly any money, like hardly any. And I noticed last Christmas there was a large disparity between what I was able to get my kids versus what my ex was able to get my kids. And it was really easy to want to be like, I can't believe that. But thankfully my kids just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They just didn't. And so it was one of those fears that I let creep in my own head. And thankfully my kids didn't even register for them. And in fact, they gave me really thoughtful gifts.
Yeah, I remember.
That blew me away. It made me cry because I knew I wasn't getting thoughtful gifts from
anybody else. Hey, I gave you thoughtful gifts.
Anybody else in my family would be the easy way to say that.
Yeah.
I figured my girlfriend was going to get me something, just like I knew I was getting you something. But that was a really, really hard time. So this year I'm looking forward to that structure because it's kind of the standardized thing. Now, my bio kids will still be going through that for the first time. So we'll have some things that come up there, I'm sure. But you and I are on a very shared page as far as what it looks like during an economic recession to have a family of 8 and have Christmas time. I mean, even just going for the grocery to go shopping for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I mean, feeding at a base of that many people, so many people out here are hosting and other things for 20, 30, 40 people. But for us, 12 people is a lot.
That's a lot.
And 8 of it or 7 of them are us.
Yeah.
And
immediate.
so the expenses are there, but getting back to that, I don't have that kind of concern this year of what is the ex going to do versus not, because we have some very similar exes and a lot of how they operate actually.
Yep.
So we're just kind of like, do you do you, because we don't really care.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's not normal really, unless you have somebody that's gone through it to guide you, like a divorce coach or a partner that's already been through it or something. But I do recommend that you try to find somebody to help you make some sort of plan for the holidays, because predictability when kids are losing their structure that school creates is really hard on them. Like it is really hard on them when, Their typical time they wake up is gone. The typical time they go to bed is gone. They're eating tons of sugar. They're watching tons of, video games. They're on holiday break. And then there's also the unpredictability of what time they're leaving, how long they're going to be with one parent. Are they going to have enough time with the other parent? That all creates an enormous amount of anxiety for the kids. And I have seen it year after year after year. I really think last year was the first year that I didn't see it as much. And that would have been 5 years in from the divorce. 5. Yeah. So.
Excellent. So this is year 1 really this would be year 2, but the kids were used to a very certain schedule.
Yeah.
And last year it was kind of just nebulous. That's the word that I would use.
Yeah.
And more about, okay, let's just try to make them happy.
Yeah.
Because this is coming out from early in the spring, and now we're at holiday time. Let's just try to show them that we're united.
Yeah.
And that was an awful fucking idea.
Yeah.
I wish I wouldn't have done it. But all that's in the past. Yeah. And this year is different. And every year from here on out will be different.
Yeah. I was actually just thinking about that a couple minutes ago. This week, last year, was when we had our lean in conversation.
Yeah, and you say it so nicely, the lean in conversation. That's like a very life coachy kind of way to say that. Some people who were in the religious world would be like, this was your coming to Jesus moment.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Others would be like, there's a different way to phrase that. But yeah, this was the time where it was like, all right, it's time to shit or get off the pot, bro.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, I remember too. It's that shit seared in my brain hole. But it was a great moment. We decided to lean in, and it was just one of many times that we've continually done that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been consistent in what we've said from the get-go, which is a really amazing quality to have in a partner, is consistency.
Yeah. And it was actually last night you said to me, we lean in, Lauren. That's what we do. We lean in. And it was a really thoughtful thing to say last night, honestly, and it made me think about it today. But yes, having a shared sense of your mission and your rituals before anybody else comes in is really important. So, for example, when you're talking about is dad going to come in and pray a Christian prayer in our house? Is grandma? Are the kids? No. Either you're going to do it or I'm going to do it, and it's going to be a pagan prayer because I know exactly what the fuck I'm going to say.
I wouldn't even pray. I don't even know what I would say because I don't do that.
I pray all the time.
So then if you want to pray, then you should pray. And I know that when we do bedtime routines, that part of your prayers
are part of the ritual.
Pray to several different deities, including Jesus.
Well, that one got added in there.
That one got added in there for one of our kids, and then now all of the kids wanted it.
Yeah, and they all love it. It's
I'm here for
a ritual. And
just because I don't believe it doesn't mean that I'm right. And if I'm wrong, then I would still want people to be covered by whatever people are praying for. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, words have power. Spoken word has power. That's
why I like hip hop.
Yeah, words have power. So what you speak over somebody is something that they can also believe. And what you believe is what you create, whether you're conscious or not. So when I'm speaking that this food is nourishing to us and that we're grateful for it because of the financial blessing we've been able to have, it's just gratitude magic. That's it. It's just you put it out and you get what you put out in the world. It comes back to you. It's called karma. That's more of the way I think about it. And then also it's very ritualistic. The kids love the security of a ritual. And the more that we can reclaim rituals that were once Christian, the better it is because we get to make it ours. And that was a really important part for me in reforming my faith was, I tried to be an atheist. That didn't work. I tried to be agnostic. I'm kind of agnostic because I don't really know who or what it is, but I know there's some sort of creative animating force. We're all connected to it in my belief system. And the big thing that sticks here is when we are doing these rituals, we're connecting to our ancestors, we're connecting to our past, because I did not know when I was an active Christian that every single one of these holidays, especially Christianity, were once pagan. Like, I did not know their history. I did not know how Christianity colonized all of the major holidays to make them Christian, and that they were once a heathen's holiday and they were so much more fun. So that's a big part of how I was able to reclaim, especially Christmas or Easter, those like really like religious ones, was by finding like the heathen way or the pagan way of how they celebrated it. So for example, in the Germanic, more Norse culture, Santa Claus is a shaman. Like, Santa Claus is a shaman, and what he's doing when he's flying is he is on a shamanic journey. So it's like there's so many deeper understandings of what we know, but they got Christianized, and then they got westernized and colonized and whitewashed, and here we are with our Western commercial Christmas, So trying to find rituals that are significantly more fun and rooted to, I don't know, like just celebrating being human was a really important part of my practice to reclaim any sense of purpose and joy around the holidays.
That sounds like a really exciting way for us to start celebrating some holidays. That's a lot of stuff that you just dropped on what you want your holidays to be reclaimed as, but I'm along for the ride as long as it includes some bitchin' food and sweats or pajamas of some sort.
I want matching Christmas PJs. Come on.
And my house dudes. Yeah, I want a really nice like robe at some point, like a jacket, a fine jacket to wear, like silk or something.
What's the guy's name? Hugh Hefner. All right, Hugh.
Hugh Hefner would not wear Hey Dudes, but I digress. If we want to have a mansion that size, that's cool with me. But hey, I think it's at this point, it's probably time for us to wrap this episode up. We talked about what holidays look like. We talked about when it comes to blended families and traditions and all the things that you go through. It's a lot, and I'm sure we'll touch back on some more holiday stuff in the coming month or two when we have more holidays come.
I think that for those of you guys that are listening, the most important part, we're just discussing, we're just literally shooting the shit here about the holidays and what we're noticing. But for those of you guys who may be disenfranchised from your family of origin, or you might be going through a holiday where you may experience your first holiday alone. Thanksgiving was my first holiday in 2019 that I experienced completely alone. That was one of the roughest days of my entire life. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're not really sure where you belong or where you fit, please know that you're a part of our family, and that we believe that chosen family is just as important as blood family. And sometimes it's even more important and safer and stronger. And there is power in that. You're not alone. Remember that the people that cannot see you and affirm you in your new identity, where you have boundaries and you're clear on who you are and what you stand for, those people are not meant to be taken with you. That's not your fault. They have every choice to grow and evolve with you. So remember that you are worth choosing, you're worth fighting for, and that if you feel alone this coming holiday, that you remember you're a part of our family.
That was beautifully spoken, and I can't echo it anymore. It also felt like you were talking to me, as I feel a lot of those very similar things. So yes, you are part of the Joint Discussions family. You're listening out there. You are not alone. You are seen and you are affirmed. You can reach out to us on socials at Joint Discussions Pod. You can find us anywhere, or at Patreon. You can find us under the same thing. Come join our community. Come see some of the behind the scenes things we posted. We posted the full interview from the prior episode up on Patreon. Ash was a joy to
wild.
have, and there's lots of good stories in there that didn't quite make the cut. So, babe, I think it's time that you take us out.
Thank you guys so much for listening to us. Find us on social media. Send us a message next week, especially if you find yourself seeking a little bit more connection during the holidays. And we'll see you guys next week. Until then, ciao.